Spring is officially in full swing here. The weather has been absolutely beautiful this past week. It's been getting warmer, it's been getting sunnier, all the birds are singing, the flowers are in bloom, and I'm just loving this season so much after a long, cold winter. As you can probably tell, I am out here on my deck, and I've actually been spending every afternoon this past week out here reading a book and drinking some coffee because it's just been so beautiful outside. And as I've been out here, I've noticed that the deck is pretty sad and bland. We just kind of have a table and seats out here, so we have a place to sit, but it's not a very inviting space or colorful space. It's a space that we never really did much with when we moved in, but I really want to make the space feel welcoming and somewhere that I really want to spend a lot of time in. So let's go do it. Trying to pick out what sunflower I want, but there are so many kinds. I think I'm gonna go with these ones. Home Depot was so busy, but I was able to get in, get what I needed, and get out, and now we are on to the plant nursery. I want the outdoor deck space to be very natural and floral, but also very useful. My goal is to turn the back deck into a little flower and herb garden. All of the herbs I'm planning on actually growing from seed and watching them grow and develop over this season, and I am at the plant nursery now to pick up some flowers. Doesn't feel like I belong, trying to keep it alive on this hungry side for a better confirmation. Yeah, I'm heading for the station and I can feel love is real. All of the plants here are so gorgeous, but I think I found all the flowers that I want. That took way longer than I anticipated to decide on what I wanted. After grabbing plants, putting them back, getting more, I finally settled on my choices of what I'm gonna plant. I did switch up on the plants that I initially said I was gonna buy, but I've paid, and this is the final display of all the plants that I've gotten. So let's go home and plant these. Look at this guy. Isn't he gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We are finally ready to start planting. I got a ton of flowers, some seed packets, pots, and a giant bag of soil. First place that I'm gonna start is planting all these flowers in these little hanging buckets that I got, and then these are going to hang off the deck railing. So most of the flowers that I have here, I have specifically chosen to attract hummingbirds. I absolutely love hummingbirds. They are my favorite bird, and they are really enjoyable and entertaining to watch. I grew up having hummingbird feeders that my family, we would make the hummingbird food and we put it out in the feeder, and hummingbirds would come. And this year I'm trying to see if I can get them to come with the flowers that I plant. All of these are supposed to be able to attract hummingbirds. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see if that happens. I'd really love it if hummingbirds came and visited our flowers, but I'm not sure. Maybe they won't be as interested and they'd rather have like the sugar water food, but we will see. Regardless, I think this is gonna be really, really pretty, and hopefully all these plants will just explode this summer and will stay in bloom and all colorful all summer. since I can remember, I've grown sunflower seeds with my dad every single year, and last year we actually didn't get a chance to plant any sunflowers, and I didn't have any sunflowers here at my little apartment. So this year I'm changing that, and I'm going to plant some sunflowers this year and hopefully get some big blooms. I've seen people plant sunflowers in the ground, but I've always done it in a pot and they turn out beautiful. So we're going to see how that goes this year. And I also got this really pretty variety pack that's supposed to give different colored sunflowers, not just the standard like big sunflowers that are all yellow, but these ones look like they have red and oranges and yellows in it. And so I am curious to see how they're gonna turn out. So I have basil and cilantro seeds, but there's also oregano and parsley that I'm going to be planting in a separate pot, and then we're also going to be planting some jalapeno peppers. Growing up, my grandma and pappy had property in Western Maryland, and my grandfather had a vegetable and herb garden, and my grandmother had flower gardens. And I just remember growing up, going there in the spring and summertime and being in the garden with both of them, and it was always really special, and it's just, yeah, such an important and special memory to me. And I know that them kind of showing me gardening is really what's brought up this little passion project for gardening and has wanted me to grow my own garden. I would love someday to have a garden as big as the ones that they had when I was growing up, but for now I'm doing what I can with the little space that I have and just continuing that legacy of gardening and growing my own food and having just beautiful flowers around. I have an extra hanging pot, so I'm going to plant some marigolds, and look how cool these seeds are. Can you see that? They're like, I don't know, I've never seen seeds like this before. They're so amazing. They're all like, they're very long and they have like little hairs at the top. They're super interesting. I've never seen a seed like that before. And finally, we have our jalapenos, which I'm going to be putting in another pot. Everything is planted, so we can actually start setting up the deck now. The deck used to look very drab and dreary, but I am happy to say that that is no longer the case. Of course, we still have to wait for all the seeds to sprout and for the flowers and herbs to start blooming and coming out, but I feel like this space is a lot more inviting and colorful than it was just this morning. And now I get to enjoy this space even more. I love that I've created a space that feels like home, and one that I feel like is connecting me to family even when we can't see each other often. It's making this little apartment less of a place where I simply live, but a place where I belong.